Hello everybody, happy Halloween, and welcome to this year's Halloween special. Last video, I said that Lucifer, among many others, are fed up with Halloween being the stereotypical day to perform rituals and rites in his name. Now, before anybody says anything, this is UPG, unverified personal gnosis. So, get that clear out of the way. And then before that, I said that I was moving my dedication to Ereshkigal to November 1st, Day of the Dead, for a more ancestral connection. But I have with me my notes, and number one, fall and winter are their time. The gods and goddesses of the underworld, death, this is their time. It is as the ancient Sumerians and various other ancient Mesopotamians believed that nature was symbolic to the gods, or the gods were symbolic in nature. A volcano erupts, the god is angry. Winter and fall, the gods of death, the goddesses of death, the underworld has come upon us. Fall and winter are their time. You can see the dying in fall or autumn, and then you can see the dead with nature, at least in the northern hemisphere, in temperate or non-hot states, if you will, where winter is a thing. But you get what I'm saying, right? This is symbolic of them. You know, this is everything that they are. Death. Spring is birth. Summer is life. Autumn is dying. And winter is death. It is a circle. The circle of life. Life, death, and rebirth. You could see it in the cosmos. Source, gods, goddesses, they adhere to this cycle too. Now, why is it that we have to pick Halloween as their time? Just this one little holiday that has undergone many, and I mean many, iterations to get to what we know today. I never really thought about that until me and Ereshkigal were having this conversation. She was telling me that she's been busy with her other devotees, some who will listen and some who don't listen, and the edgelords. All trying to make Halloween her day. And thus is why she wanted me to move it to Day of the Dead. For my ancestral connection to not only my Mexican heritage, but my Irish, German, Jewish, Russian ancestors. Because far be it from me, I did partake in October, Halloween, but I knew something was wrong. For the last 3 Halloweens, I was pretty much forced to not perform my dedication ritual to her. 2020, I was robbed at gunpoint. 2021, I contracted some sort of illness, which left me sick for 2 weeks. And then 2022, I got drunk. And this year, I have to work. But brings us to point number 2. The veil stays open until Walpurgisnacht, or Witch's Night, Hexennacht, whatever you want to call it. Now I know this is UPG as well. This whole video is UPG. I was reading Natasha Helbin's book on working with the ancestors, and in it she says that the winter solstice is a good time to communicate with your ancestors. Now, I've had some videos on here with performing necromancy to communicate with them. So what does this tell us? This tells us that, to me anyway, that the veil gets thin in October. It is fully opened by the winter solstice and stays open till May 1st, May Day. It makes sense when you really think about it, because we go back to number 1, which is winter is the season of the dead. The gods and goddesses of that period in nature. And it makes more sense because, at least for me, I can't speak for anybody else but me, but I've always been more sensitive to spirits around wintertime. Like, I've seen more in winter than I have in summer and full-on spring. So I personally believe that fall through all the way to May Day, May 1st, is when the veil is opened. Is opening and opened. Why should it be limited to 1 month? I mean, there's earthbound spirits, yes. But when the gates open during this time, that's just, throwing them out there. It's letting them come through to walk the land once more. But that's just my opinion, and that's just my unverified personal gnosis. And I will link the book, Working with Ancestors, in the description. I highly recommend it. Number 3. Stereotypes are stupid. And much more than Halloween. Again, I ask, why is it that Halloween is always that day to do anything? Seriously, why? I mean, I'm guilty of being cringe. I know a lot of you others are cringe too, so no one is without sin here. And if you say you're not, you're a fucking liar. You see edgelord teenagers trying to get back at mommy and daddy by performing satanic rituals in the graveyard, vandalism in Satan's name, and all that. Like Halloween, it's like, any other time you could have done this, but you had to choose Halloween. Maybe it's because of the culture we live in. Maybe it's because, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But it's to that point to where Lucifer has also chimed in. Like I said in the last video, that's why he had me move it to my birthday instead of doing it on Halloween, which is today, because it's stereotypical. And I know a lot of famous black magicians are going to do that tonight in some way, shape, or form, and more power to them. More power to them. But just stop and think. Really think about it. Why is it always just this one day of the year? That's the spookiest to do it. It's kind of dumb, really, when you think about it. Number 4. As I said, winter solstice is a great time to connect with the spirits, mainly your ancestors. It's, for the lack of better words, less distracting, if you will. You do not have nature interfering. You don't have all kinds of insects and animals roaming around. You don't have neighbors having parties and cookouts and shit. You just have the silence. Unless you live in the city where you get the hustle and bustle. But for most of us, you just get the silence. And you get that cold wind blowing. It's dead air through the dead trees. Which, again, the gates being fully opened, that allows the spirits of the dead to come forth, to connect with them. Number 5. Be respectful to both the spirits and the gods and goddesses. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, simple. To be respectful, you have to take into consideration, especially if you're channeling with them, communicating with them, you have to keep in mind that you are the devotee. You are beneath them in power. That's just my opinion. They hold more power over you. We may be their children, and there's some things that we did not inherit from them. So be respectful to them. Give honorably. And when it comes to spirits, same thing. Be respectful to them. Do not anger them. Because I can tell you, I've angered some spirits in my time, and wasn't fun. I've seen things that have made me a believer. Okay? I've seen things that made me a believer. All because of my arrogance. And disrespect to the spirits. So, during this time, leave any offerings you wish to give to them. Honor them. Thank them. And treat them as if they are still living. Treat them as if they are your friends, your family. And in some cases, the spirits of your family. Treat them with respect. And maybe bad things won't happen to you. Let's see what else. I think that's about it, really. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. If you want to come find me, my links are in the description. And be sure to check out Natasha Helvin's book. And she is also the author of Slavic Witchcraft, Russian Black Magic, which you can find playlists on this channel. I will eventually finish reviewing Russian Black Magic. I'll get to that eventually. Although it seems kind of odd and awkward considering what's going on. But that's besides the point. I am of Russian descent, so it'd be an insult to my Russian ancestors if I didn't. See what I'm talking about right there. Yeah. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And, oh yeah, happy Halloween.